perspective, I'd say no. Do not date potential or ambition or possibilities. Men are expected to be the primary owners, while in others, financial equality is emphasized. However, the bulk of financial responsibility should never ability ensures that those tough times don't become overwhelming. So I feel like ultimately it's a balance of both factors. They are ideal to.
We all wear masks at home, at work, in love, in life. But here the mask stays on and the truth comes out. Welcome to The Mask is On. Hiding in the open, speaking the unspoken. No filters or sugarcoating. Just raw, unfiltered talk about life, work, and everything in between. So let's talk. No holding back. Subscribe now and never miss the truth.
Welcome to The Mask is On. Today we are tackling a topic that stirs debate in dating circles, social media, and even within relationships. Do women require men to earn a certain amount to date them? And is this a natural preference driven by evolution? Or is it, a modern construct fueled by societal pressures? Buckle up because we're about to dissect this from all angles. Now, there's this term, hypergamy, and it is the idea that women naturally seek partners of higher social or financial status. Now, some argue that this preference is deeply rooted in evolution because historically women relied on men for protection, provision, and resources, and this was to ensure the survival of themselves and their offspring. But in today's world, financial stability equates to security and comfort, which can be appealing when choosing a life partner. On the flip side, though, is hypergamy just a social construct, right? Because in today's world, we as women, we are financially independent, educated, and capable of providing for ourselves. Yet, statistics still show that many women prefer men who earn as much or more than they do. But it begs the question, is this merely a reflection of past conditioning, or, does it signify something deeper? Because perhaps, it's not about dependency, but about options. We have the choice to expect financial stability rather than need it. Now, another question is financial stability a necessity for a successful relationship? I'd say yes and no. Because while financial stability is essential, love and emotion compatibility also play a vital role. Let's get into this a bit further, right? Money itself, it isn't the foundation of the relationship, but financial stress is one of the leading causes of breakups and divorces. When you have to think about unpaid bills, lack of future security, and financial irresponsibility, this can create tension. And it's possible to erode even the strongest emotional connections there is. A financial stable partner provides security and reassurance, and this reduces the pressure on the relationship. But emotional compatibility, that matters too, because a relationship built solely on money is shallow. When we have shared values, mutual respect, communication, these are all important for long term success. Love provides the glue that holds our relationship together during tough times. But guess what? The financial stability ensures that those tough times don't become overwhelming. So I feel like ultimately it's a balance of both factors. They are ideal to have a healthy relationship. But can we have one without the other? Because really, can love thrive without financial stability? No. Love might sustain a relationship in its early stages, but without financial stability, cracks will appear over time. As I said earlier, money issues create stress, resentment, and limitations in lifestyle choices. Now, if a couple is constantly struggling to make ends meet, living from paycheck to paycheck, the love may turn into frustration. Love alone doesn't pay rent, it doesn't fund date nights, or provide a safety net during emergency. Financial stability does that, and it doesn't have to mean wealth, but it does mean being able to sustain a comfortable life without chronic financial stress. Now, I feel like women are judged more harshly for wanting to choose a partner who is financially stable or earns enough to maintain the lifestyle that they're used to. And even though men value beauty and certain looks in women, they are not judged as harshly for looking for those criteria as much as women are judged for wanting a man to earn certain amount. When we express a desire for a financial stable partner, we're often labeled as materialistic, a gold digger, or superficial. But when men prioritize these physical attractiveness, it's seen as natural or even expected. Why the double standard, right? Why does society generally accept men? Because even though they are choosing a partner based on physical attributes and beauty, while we are expected to prioritize love and emotional depth over financial security. That's definitely double standard right there. Why is it acceptable for a man to have a type based on looks, but a woman is to be ashamed for seeking financial security? That is not fair. Because realistically, we are often considered, or criticized for or dating choices or refusing to date somebody if they don't meet our financial expectation, right? But we have to think about our future. If we are thinking ahead, thinking about our future, thinking about what we want, imagine having a child for someone who isn't financially stable, that person ups and leave. Us as women, we'd be left in a hole trying to dig ourselves out of it, and usually we are left with additional financial responsibilities in these cases. Yes, we are independent, some of us are, and yes, we are able to take care of ourselves. But when you add, for example, a child into the mix, then that definitely adds more pressure. And if the partner is not able to meet us halfway or even most of the way, then that's a lot of stress. Like, who wants to willingly go into a relationship knowing the stress that is going to come with? It makes no sense because at the core of it, right, men and women, we both have the option of choosing and our preferences when it comes to choosing our partner. So I feel like, women should not be criticized for wanting to choose somebody who is able to meet their financial expectation. So, and again, when it comes on to how much a woman contributes to the household, I mean, it depends on cultural and societal norms because in some cultures men are expected to be the primary owners while in others financial equality is emphasized. However, the bulk of financial responsibility should never, I think, fall solely on women. I feel like if someone is paying more and doing more, then it should be the man. And when in a relationship, it is okay as a man to communicate, what you may expect from your partner in terms of the financial contribution, rather than just assume traditional gender roles. Because some women are willing to meet halfway. Some women will take the bulk of the financial responsibility, but in my view, I feel like it should be the man because that may create, let's say, a woman in the household is funding all the bills, right? Or majority, then it begs the question who is the head of this household, and it may lead to a man feeling insecure, possibly depending on the type of person he is. So I may be thinking more along the traditional lines of a man being the head of the household. And if you are the head of the household, then by right, you should be facing the bulk of the financial aspect of that relationship. This is just my view. But the key in any relationship, though, is for both partners to just align yourselves based on your expectations rather than have one gender carrying the burden alone. And if one gender is carrying the burden alone, then it should be the man. Another thing, too, is the question of whether or not, you know, women should date men who have potential or ambition. And I say no. And here's why. While potential and ambition, they're great qualities, don't get me wrong, because it's good for both men and women to have those. I've seen where many women have supported a man through his struggles, be there for him from the jump, help him to start a business, support him in his dreams, help pay his college fund, all of that. And a woman goes through all these struggles with a man only to be left alone at the end of the day when he becomes successful, right? We invest emotionally, financially, physically into this man's growth. Can you imagine? Years goes by, and when he's at the top, he doesn't remember where he's coming from. So I feel like a woman dating a man who has the potential to meet her financial needs or the ambition is risky. I mean, it's a choice that you have to take, but make sure that if you are going to do that, that you have something for yourself at the end of the day. Have a backup plan because investing wholly and fully into this man for him to become successful and then take you along on his success journey with him is never guaranteed. So while you're doing that, if you choose to do that, just ensure that you have a plan B, C, D, E, all the alphabet, just to ensure that you are covered. So again, it's about your choice, what you want to choose. But from my perspective, I'd say no. Do not date potential or ambition or possibility. No. Great that you have that. Fine, sure. Awesome. You have ambition, but can't pay the bills, can't pay the rent, can't take me out to dinner. No. So dating potential, very risky. I feel like a man should already have financial stability before entering into a serious relationship rather than expecting a woman to help build him up. Because guess what? A lot of times women are discarded later. So at the end of the day, right, financial stability matters in relationships. And it's not just about materialism. It's about security. It's about being able to have your basic needs. It's about living a life that is comfortable, not a struggle life. It's about planning. It's about ensuring you have a comfortable future when you get older. It's all of those things. Why try to go in something if you think it's going to, be a burden later on in your life? Why invite additional stress and problems in your life? No. Always try to date somebody who has the financial means necessary to take care of you if you're unable to take care of yourself. It's just, my 2 cents. And please, as women, do not be ashamed for wanting a financial stable partner. Because a man is not ashamed of wanting a sexy woman or a woman he considers sexy or beautiful. He's not. And society does not cry shame on that man for wanting that. So you have to own your choices and be true to who you are and what it is that you need, and do not settle just because society says this is how you're supposed to act, right? But at the end of the day though, relationships thrive on mutual respect, aligned values and shared goals. And while finances play a very crucial role in the relationship, it shouldn't be the sole deciding factor. Yeah, it should not be, but it is a huge factor in deciding love and in deciding how a relationship is going to progress and if that love is going to remain. So communicate with your partner, understanding expectations. These all make a relationship work. But again, we can't forget the financial aspect of it too. And that's just my 2 cents when it comes to um, women having a financial expectation when dating men. Nothing is wrong with that. Just do you and continue looking until you find the person that actually meets, your financial criteria. At the end of the day, it is just what it is, and it makes no sense to invite any sort of stress in your life. It doesn't, right? So that's it for today's episode of The Mask is On. And if you found this discussion valuable, don't forget to share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Remember, whether you're hiding behind a mask or showing the world your true face, it's all about owning it. Until next time, stay authentic, stay bold, And don't forget to keep your mask on or off, whatever feels right to you. Catch you later.